Welcome to the new and improved Tipped Balls studio. Hand-built by the one and only Uncle Sam. Our new state-of-the-art studio features tons of the Tipped Balls memorabilia, a beautiful barnwood background, shout out to Rigo,
Wave.
and a hand-built red mahogany desk. We hope you...
Bruce.
Yeah. Bruce was constipated, so he missed out on all the action of building the studio. But here we are. We did this to give you guys a more appealing visual experience when you're watching Tip Balls. And we hope you guys will appreciate it and all of our hard work. And we thank you guys so much for watching. And let's get into it. Week 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined today by my two rather constipated co-hosts.
That's not me.
That was just me.
To my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And behind the computer, joining us on the desk.
Well, I'm to your left.
Suppository boy.
What?
I'm to your left. You said to your right. I'm to your left. I'm not.
I said to my right about him.
Yeah.
Oh, I said to my right twice?
No, you didn't say to your left. You said behind the computer.
Well, I always say behind the computer.
Yeah, but
I have to say
I'm
to my
your
left now?
Yeah.
All right, to my left.
Behind the computer. It's
Now joining us
suppository boy.
is Mr. Suppository, Captain Smooth Move T. Bruce, the tugboat. Venditti.
Nut.
What's up? What's up?
Tugger nut.
So, as you can notice, our studio no longer looks like a porn casting couch in a dirty basement. We have a new and improved studio.
Hey, I was originally on the couch. Started off.
You started off on the couch and then,
And you can't see Bruce tugging on himself either anymore.
Luckily,
You couldn't see it anyway. Only you could.
luckily
That was even worse
we have
because I had to see it.
Just for you.
we have an actual desk now instead of a coffee table. So many improvements have been made. And instead of having two-toned gray walls behind us, we now actually have a proper space to bring you guys all the NFL news you guys don't need. Week 1 started off with a ton of rust, and then all of a sudden, right after the half, everything kind of just went absolutely
Haywire.
ape shit.
It went haywire.
Crazy.
It was just a big cauldron of shit.
So we're going to break down every single one of the 1 o'clock games. 4 o'clock started off pretty boring. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I did.
I
I just didn't think it was living up to the earlier games. The earlier games were just wild.
everything was wild down to the end in those games. At 4 o'clock, I think I learned one big thing, which we're going to get into a little bit deeper. The Chiefs are really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chiefs are the favorite.
Chiefs are
come
really
out of the AFC. I had said that earlier. I thought the Chiefs were to be still the team to beat.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They're actually running the football now.
Yeah. And then in the Sunday night football game, Buccaneers at Cowboys.
Not a surprise for me. Not a surprise for me.
Obviously, probably the biggest piece of news from the day is that Cowboys star quarterback Dak Prescott fractured his thumb.
Garrett's screwed.
Garrett's screwed in fantasy, and he will miss.
How many times do we got to make excuses for this guy?
I don't think anybody's making.
He's
an excuse
fucking
for him at
awful,
this
dude.
point.
He was awful last night.
So let's just get straight into Sunday night football. First. We'll start there. So Buccaneers at Cowboys. Tom Brady goes into Dallas. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the Buccaneers first, and then we'll go into the Cowboys. But I thought Brady looked fine to me. It wasn't an exceptional game for him, and it didn't look like he was out of sorts. He looked fine. I saw more of him tearing into his offensive line than I've ever seen before, and that's going to be.
And
an
I'm going
issue.
to tell you what, I thought they held up really good, dude.
You know, for what they dealt with, because they lost left guard early. His name escapes me right now. But
We're not even talking about the people they lost before this even started.
Correct. So you're dealing with a offensive line full of essentially backups, and they held up. I'll say this: they gave Fournette enough time.
Fournette was an absolute monster.
Fournette looked fantastic in that the block.
My God, is he strong?
The block he laid on Micah Parsons. he flatlined Micah Parsons at
Let me
one
tell you
point.
something. Micah Parsons tried to tackle him hard and tackled him high, and he felt that shit. And I don't think he wanted any part of that again.
He popped
and
the
Parsons is no
shit out
punk.
of
He is a premier player in this league.
Yeah. But he did get popped one good time by Leonard Fournette.
More than once. Him trying to tackle Fournette.
Moik.
And he got a taste of what it was like to try to tackle him high.
Overall, I think Fournette had a really nice game. Chris Godwin went down early with a hamstring tweak. They said it shouldn't be anything serious, but
I think they kind of knew they were in control. I don't think they really needed it.
Correct. I think he probably tweaked something a little bit, scared himself, didn't want to hurt himself worse than, he's coming back from the ACL tear. So he probably needed a little bit of rest. But the rushing stat lines, Fournette, 21 carries for 127 yards.
That's awesome.
That's all you can ask for. I mean,
the guy was a monster.
that was beautiful. Zeke, he averaged 5.2 yards per carry.
I thought he looked great.
I think he looked.
You know what? You know what I hate? They don't go to him enough. I just think they give up on him too early. They weren't down that much to where they could have gave up on the run.
You want to know what I noticed? The Cowboys played cute last night. There's a lot of reverses and a little dump ball and flick passes. They tried to play cute. Tony Pollard was just as much of that offense as Zeke was. I'll say that.
And I don't have a problem with that.
Neither do I.
think it's good to have a two-headed monster.
Neither do I. CD Lamb had a pretty quiet night. Noah Brown actually led the team in receiving yards. 5 receptions, 58 yards.
I just think, I'm going to be honest with you, Dak Prescott looked like utter dog shit.
I'll say this. At the half.
If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. He was fucking out of sorts. He couldn't hit nobody in fucking stride. He was, and you know what? Not to say that their receivers were getting any kind of, they weren't getting any kind of separation.
No.
And that was really killing them. But you know what? Sometimes you got to throw where the guy ain't and let him run for it. And he just wasn't doing it. He did not look like himself.
At the half, Dak's QBR was 21.
Yeah.
And he finished with it at 47.
Yeah.
So Dak Prescott was completely ineffective.
And now he's got a broken thumb.
He
and now
broke
we got
his
an
thumb.
excuse for the rest of the season.
with a broken.
Do you want to know what the best part of the broken thumb thing was?
Hopefully Mike McCarthy gets fired by week 7.
No, even better than that.
Okay.
The giant dude in the cowboy hat and boots that is the doctor for the Cowboys with his little cowboy tie on.
Yeah.
Sitting there looking at, it's broken now. You already know how that conversation went. I thought that was kind of funny that the Cowboys guy was their team doctor's an actual cowboy, which could be a part of their injury situation. But
That doesn't necessarily make him a cowboy, though.
here's
overall, Brady didn't have to look great. He looked good, good enough for them to win easy.
Mike
I thought it was
Evans looked great.
I thought the game was going to be played a lot tighter and a lot closer. It was not close.
no.
Tampa moved the ball at will on them. They had the Cowboys had some big third down plays, stops, to hold these guys to 4 field goals.
Right.
Otherwise, it would have been a fucking
It
blowout.
would have been a blowout.
It would have been 40 to fucking nothing.
Did you see that Mike Evans lay back one? I mean, it looked just like that right there almost. That was just absolutely beautiful.
But everybody knows Godwin is the guy. When they have Godwin and he's on, they're going to be fucking hell to stop. And you know what? The NFC better take notice, because I'm going to tell you the truth. None of the other teams in the NFC looked fucking good yesterday. Except for the Eagles.
Julio Jones is the guy. I thought he made an instant impact. Brady liked finding him.
Brady was finding him because he knew Godwin was out. So he said, okay, let me play with my new toy. And that's what he was fucking doing. And you know what? Everybody better take notice. All these bettors out of Vegas talking about, Tampa ain't going to do anything. You better fucking watch out.
Well,
because they played a defense that was really good and moved the ball all over the fucking field on them.
I don't even think their offense was the highlight of the game last night. I think their defense is better than any of us expected. Their secondary is he's calling the defense still as well as that coach.
Absolutely.
Their secondary is, their secondary played better yesterday than anybody else I watched. And I watched everybody. I
thought the Chargers secondary was fucking outstanding.
I agree with that. I put the Chargers second, but the Buccaneers defense was phenomenal. Phenomenal yesterday. That's all. I mean, the Cowboys didn't play well, but the Buccaneers defense didn't allow them to get anything going.
It was a good game. Good game. Good opener for Tampa. They haven't really missed any, with all the injuries and all the losses on the offensive line. I thought they played damn good.
Same here. I agree with you.
And they're only going to get better as the weeks go on. So
Right. All right. We got to talk about it.
You want to go right into it?
Bruce was at Ford Field yesterday.
Oh, God, he called me when he was leaving, talking
Every
about,
Sunday.
dude, the secondary was garbage. Really, dude? Not the secondary, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Listen, should I go here now?
Go.
Can I go now?
Go.
Yeah.
All right. What did they do the worst yesterday?
Pressure.
Listen to me. The quarterback had 90 fucking yards rushing on him.
No shit.
And you had a back for 100 yards on you, too.
But he was still making my problem is, okay, you can let him run. That's fine. Because they did okay with him running like that.
I don't know
But
what
he
you're
was
talking about right
making
now.
passes. That's my problem.
Dude, listen to me. Here's the
had
big
too
animal
much
in the
time.
room. They don't have the insides present to stuff the fucking run. I said this from day one. Listen, when you got a quarterback running around for 100 yards, I'll let that go. But when you're giving 100 yards up to a back too, dude, that's fucking 200 yards between these guys. Are you kidding me?
Hutchinson played like shit.
I'm sorry?
Hutchinson played like shit.
What, are you going to blame him for it?
No, I'm saying
That's
he
not
he
him,
got caught
dude.
Inside, and you call him high school Anzalone, but
High school
actually,
Anzalone is trash,
he
dude.
does his job.
Fuck him. You got
He
a
did
rookie
his
that
job
outplays
all
him.
Day yesterday.
You got a rookie that outplayed him all day
They
yesterday.
were on the field together all game. They came off together. They went on together.
You know what? Let me tell you something right now.
And Rodriguez looks like freaking
Then put
lightning
one linebacker in and five defensive linemen, because that defensive line is shit. They can't fucking stop anybody. And I'm talking about they can't play the run. The linebacker position is still the weak
I think you're
position
wrong.
on this team.
I think you're wrong. I think our secondary is the problem.
I don't either. Guess
do.
what? If the front is strong,
Too
the
many
secondary
passes.
is stronger. How do these teams hide bad secondaries? Seriously, how does a team hide a bad secondary? You got a ferocious front seven, and guess what? They don't have it. They don't have a ferocious front seven. I'm sorry. How many sacks did they have yesterday?
I don't know, one maybe.
There you go, bud. You just answered your own question.
The guy's freaking fast, dude. He
Tracy
Stop,
Walker.
dude.
Yeah,
Tracy
Tracy
Walker was the only one with the sack yesterday.
When you're safe,
And he was
when
the
you're
only
free
one
safety
who
is
actually
the
put up 10
only
points
one that has a fucking
fantasy.
sack, that's a problem.
I'm not.
Where's the
disagreeing with
mirror?
you,
Where's
but
the mirror on that defense? And I'm not even going to talk about. Listen,
they
the talent
stopped
level
him.
on that
The only
defense is
thing,
shit.
They couldn't stop him on third down. That's the biggest problem.
Okay,
Because on third down, what would Jalen Hurts do? Come out of the pocket and run for a first down.
right. Where's the mirror? Where's the guy on him?
I don't know.
There was no mirror on him,
Great
dude.
question. And I think that is a big problem that they need to fix. But I
You
will
allow-
say
you
this.
allow
I will
200
say
yards
this.
rushing, you're gonna
They
lose.
were supposed to, we thought they were going to get blown out.
Well,
You know what? That game.
No,
went-
I thought I didn't have them winning at all. You're the only one that had them winning.
Okay.
We knew better. Some of us knew better.
It got pretty close.
Yeah.
It got pretty close.
Yeah,
And there's
that only counts
you
in
know
2
what?
games.
I don't want to sit here
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
trash golf the entire time because I did enough of it.
Can't trash
yesterday.
golf. Guys were dropping balls.
That's true. That's
The
true.
tackling
but,
was
nah, dude,
atrocious.
this guy could not. He had no communication with his receivers and all.
Are you guys done yet?
He was
I don't know.
throwing
I
into
don't know where he's
triple
going with
coverage.
any
He
of
was
this.
throwing
Dude.
into triple coverage multiple times. He threw into double coverage multiple times when he had dudes wide open downfield.
So
He had to-
I wouldn't put the blame on Jared Goff at all.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If he didn't throw that interception,
Okay.
was it in the third
So
quarter?
you're going to blame him for that? He had 1 interception yesterday.
And Dan Campbell deciding to go on for the onside kick with 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Okay.
That's another ridiculous.
So you're going to
Paul.
try to tell me it's coaching now, too?
It's everything. They need to
No,
pull their
it's
it's
personnel, dude.
together. They
The-
need to
the problem
pull
is the
their
personnel,
shit
bud.
Together. I don't
Which we
think the
should have known
defense-
this. We should have known this. Listen, it was all smoke and mirrors. They didn't address defense, dude. You drafted one guy on defense that was a fucking decent pick, and the rest of it was all shit.
All I'm saying is when they get a quarterback that actually sits in the pocket and throws the ball, you'll see.
And it's not even that, dude. If you can't get to the quarterback in this league, dude, you're done. You're done. I don't give a fuck.
Anyway,
I don't give a fuck what team
since I was
you
at
have.
the game, I'm not disappointed and I'm not happy.
It was a good time. I thought it was a good played game for the most part.
It was electric.
The officiating, I don't get me started with officials, but I don't like ticky-tack calls, and I seen a lot of ticky-tack calls yesterday.
I agree.
Not only in that game, but several games that are just, it's atrocious.
But I will say,
let these guys play.
Like people were complaining yesterday at the game. People were like, fuck this, same old Lions. Okay. First of all, we knew the Lions weren't going to be a playoff team. Correct? But things are looking up. I will say that.
Okay. Can I after that, can I go now?
Please.
Okay. You're both wrong.
Okay.
You're both wrong.
Okay.
He's wrong because the front of that defense is an issue. You had 5 quarterback hits the whole game. 1 sack.
Can I say this? You had 17 quarterback runs yesterday.
Okay. Hold on.
4 of them were designed.
You're wrong because Jalen Hurts is probably second to Lamar Jackson. Maybe you could throw Kyler in there.
He's the early Lamar Jackson.
As far as running the ball goes. At the end of the day, the defense is fucking terrible. Period. There's not one the highlight of that defense is Malcolm Rodriguez. And at the end of the day, the things I noticed about him was he has great speed and he can hit with extreme power, but he's out of control when he plays. And at some point, he's going to get burned over and over, which is why they're still integrating high school Anzalone, because he's too fast. He's you know what he's like? Malcolm Rodriguez is like Garrett. He's trying to do everything right, and he's out of control and moving way too fucking fast. That's what it is, and that's why they're still utilizing Anzalone, because Anzalone is a more complete middle linebacker, okay? And probably a little bit better in coverage. That's number 1. Number 2, they didn't make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable once.
That's not at all.
They didn't.
They put him in his element. This is an issue. They literally put him in his element.
They allowed him to run roughshod on him.
And that's why I asked where the fucking mirror is. You got a guy that runs, you got to have a mirror on him, dude.
Besides that, let's say Jalen Hurts is going to do it anyways.
Okay.
You can't allow Jalen Hurts to run for 90 and then Miles Sanders to run for 96. And Miles Sanders, they weren't doing anything fancy with him.
No.
They were handing him the ball and letting him run up the middle. They just don't have the personnel to stop anybody. Which don't.
I wasn't disappointed with because he's on my fantasy team. So.
Yeah, I know that. But at the end of the day, I
was celebrating when he scored.
At the end of the day, they don't have a run stopper.
Yeah.
They don't have a fucking run stopper. I mean, it's real simple. The Lions just don't have.
Hey, their goal line D is pretty good.
And you sit here and you want to rag Jared Goff and you want to rag the offense.
Okay, don't even bring up his 200 and bullshit.
215 yards.
One interception. Dude.
And 1 pick and 2 touchdowns.
Everyone in that stadium.
How the fuck? If you're going to sit here and say Goff's not the answer, they put up 35 fucking points, 21 of which were in the second half.
He couldn't throw for shit. Missing targets.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 for 64. Chark, 4 for 52. Hawkinson, 4 for 38.
Chark missed a couple balls.
How many fucking drop passes were there?
Chark probably dropped.
That's an issue. It's an issue.
Okay.
Wasn't only him. St. Brown dropped a pass. Chark dropped a couple passes.
Can throw down. Like, if he's going to go long, he can do it. But he missed. What I saw was he read the guy he's supposed to throw to, didn't scan the field at all, and would just throw it and dump it.
I agree with that.
Coverage, double coverage. He's going to the guy that he chose.
I agree with that.
Before scanning the field.
But I'll tell you this, and I noticed last night the Cowboys D got good pressure on Brady, I would say overall. Okay, and Brady was getting rid of the ball in 1.9 seconds. All right? Because if he held it any longer than that, he was going to get pummeled. We sit here and praise the Lions' offensive line, okay? And I think they did a decent job. But Goff did not have a ton of time.
No, he didn't.
And I think what Goff did well was
he got the
Finding
ball out
that
of his
guy
fucking
that's-
hands.
That's true.
there,
That's true.
get
And
it out.
that's one thing he did improve on this year.
I agree. And I think that
And
was a huge emphasis for that game yesterday because,
And the third down plays is the key, dude.
yeah, and they're
When
just
you
not
can't
efficient on
convert
third down.
downs, dude, you're fucked.
Listen, when it's 3rd and 10, why are we running the ball though?
You know what?
Because,
Sometimes that'll work.
yeah, because
I seen it work in quite a few games yesterday.
when the best player on
Watch
your
the
team
Bears do
I
it
don't
toward the
know.
end to win them a game.
the best player on your team is the running back. So
Exactly.
when you need a play,
That's true.
you put the ball in the hands of the best player on your team. And
Right.
Swift was phenomenal
He had
yesterday.
15 carries yesterday.
144 yards,
Yep.
averaging 10 yards per carry, got a tud. Jamal Williams is, I think,
Running hard as shit.
Solid third.
I mean, he wasn't very efficient, but I mean,
Good for those goal lines.
he got his 2 tuds. He was good for the goal line. He only had 1 reception, which I thought was kind of odd.
Yeah.
Didn't really understand that. Goff fumbled once. He threw a pick. At the end of the day, Jared Goff is exactly what you think he is. He is average at best. And is he good enough to get the job done? Is he good enough? If the team you build around him is good enough, he is good enough to make this a
You can win
10-win
ball
team.
games.
True.
Hey, since he's come in the league, the guy can win ball games. I
Okay.
don't think that's the issue.
Outside of what the Lions did wrong, Jalen Hurts had a very, very nice game. No picks.
And he started out a little shitty.
Everybody did. I've
Yeah.
noticed week 1, your expectations need to be put into place because I don't care how many preseason snaps they played, and my theory was fucking right, and we'll talk about it more. But who looked the best out of every team you saw yesterday?
Pat Mahomes.
The fucking Chiefs.
Cute as
because,
shit and looked great.
Because every single one, Andy Reid
He played
fucking
every one of
played
them
the shit
preseason
out of
games.
all of his starters.
Yep.
And they looked, they came
they're
out
sharp,
like,
they're crisp, firing on
they
all
came out
cylinders.
like a fucking bullet yesterday.
And Schuster dropped about 3 balls that he should have.
Not
Huh?
surprised. I'm not surprised with that. But
Yeah.
Hurts didn't have a tud throwing the ball. But
The Lions. I'll say this much though, they ran the ball down their fucking throat.
They
on
did.
A good defense.
they did on a good
on
defense.
a fucking
once.
really
I agree
good
with that.
defense.
What, since Reggie Bush, right?
It's the first 100-yard rusher since Reggie Bush.
No, I'm saying that we actually have a solid running game.
Yes, they have a very nice running game now.
They
cool
have a
to
nice
see.
running.
The problem,
To see.
The problem with that is you gotta make the plays off of that.
Exactly.
And
No,
if you can't do that, you know.
the problem with that is you could run the ball for 300 fucking yards, and if you
It's a passing league. You're gonna
give
fucking-
up 155 yards to AJ Brown,
And
who
more points.
essentially was their entire offense. Goddard had 60, Gainwell had 12, Miles Sanders caught a ball, so did Zach Pascal. They whoever was guarding Devonta Smith, I don't know, but shut him down. He didn't even have a fucking reception. AJ Brown 8. They had a Warrior on him the whole game. He couldn't fucking stop him. He couldn't cover
Hey,
him.
Jeff Okudah had a pretty good game.
Jeff Okudah racked up a few tackles, but
Yeah, Jeff Okudah wasn't on the fucking guy that they're throwing the ball. to.
exactly. If I'm going to guess, Okudah was probably on Devontae Smith. I didn't notice it, but so
Yeah,
he was
he
okay in coverage. He had some good tackles.
Oh, he supports the run. Good.
Yeah.
Listen, Jeff Okudah is not afraid to make a tackle, and I'll give him that much.
No, I just want to say people that were trashing him because he's a Patricia pick and all. Oh, he sucks. He's not good.
He's not good.
He's been hurt.
He's been hurt.
He's not that good.
Is he worth the
not
3rd overall
good.
pick? No.
Thank you.
Absolutely
And
not.
at the end of the
No.
day, what's my philosophy if you're picking in the top 3?
Don't
They
take a
better
DB.
be a Hall of Famer, period.
You're
and he ain't even
taking
fucking
taking
close.
edge rusher or offensive line.
He ain't even
Period.
close.
That was a Patricia problem.
Okay, moving down to South Florida for the game that I was the most excited to talk about was the New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins, and I'd like to start off by saying, fuck you and fuck
Excuse
you.
I chose Miami to win.
Guess what? I should remake that bet on the Patriots winning 9 games. I should drop it fucking down to 6 because this team, this Patriots team,
I think Miami was a little better than what people.
Well, you're going to be tattooing him, so.
this team, this Patriots team, I want to talk about them and then we'll go into Miami because I have a lot of thoughts about Miami too. This Patriots team is the most unorganized, most untalented, and most non-Belichick-like team I have seen. Mac Jones looked frazzled. He didn't have any time to set anything up. He wasn't making crisp throws. He couldn't throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field. Okay?
The protection for him was awful.
The protection, they don't have one fucking solid offensive lineman. We'll start there. Number 2, J.C. Jackson was one of the best corners in the league. You didn't want to pay him. You thought you were the smartest guy in the room. You let him fucking walk. You do not have a single DB on the entire Patriots roster who could match up against Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson. I mean, Chase Edmonds, 4 for 40. What are you doing? They ruined their own defense. They had one of the best defenses in the league last year. They ruined their own defense. And it doesn't stop there. They don't have one offensive weapon. Kendrick Bourne had 1 reception for 41 yards.
It's a nice play, too, by the way.
He's just
He was targeted. Their best receiver was targeted 1 time.
I didn't understand that either, but I'm not the offensive coordinator there. So,
and they couldn't even set up the run.
Yeah. That was the most telling part was they didn't dominate the line of scrimmage on either side, and that hurt them.
They had 2 fumbles.
That's not a Belichick
The future really doesn't look bright either because Patricia's eventually going to be running the team.
Nobody cares about that, but
I'm just saying.
I'm saying Miami's a very good team. The defense is better than I thought they were, and
I'll tell you this.
Better watch out.
I took Aaron Rodgers in fantasy, which was a fucking mistake that we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
Oh.
And I'm currently in the market for Tua Tagovailoa because I was right, and I didn't listen to myself. I didn't fucking listen to myself. I was right, and I knew. I said it on this show right fucking here that Tua would be, outside of Josh Allen, the best quarterback in that division this year.
No, Pat Mahomes.
In the division.
Pat Mahomes is cute.
The division. Tua Tagovailoa looked like a pro quarterback for the first time yesterday. He looked.
Their offensive line played well. They were able to control that line of scrimmage. That was the key.
Even outside of that, he looked poised. You haven't said that about Tua ever. Tua doesn't look poised. He wasn't running all over the place. He didn't. He ran the ball 2 times. That's what we want to see. And his throws, he was throwing with precision. And you haven't seen that out of Tua.
He had a couple mishaps, but it happens.
That's fine.
It happens.
He didn't throw a pick. That's what we like to see. Okay? As far as receiving goes, Tyreek Hill looked like Tyreek Hill. Hasn't missed a beat. And the things that he was saying about Tua now, I'm starting to understand. Is he better than Pat Mahomes? Absolutely not. But you have to give them credit. What they've put together down there,
it's been impressive.
Hey, dude,
Miami could be one of those sneaky playoff teams.
That one catch where he literally took it out of his hand.
Yes.
And just tumbled with it. That was
right.
sick.
Jalen Waddle got the only receiving touchdown yesterday, and it was a beautifully thrown ball. It was a beautiful catch. Waddle was running precision routes, because before, Jalen Waddle had to be that speed guy, and he doesn't have to be anymore. He is the speed guy who can run a little bit more Deacon Duck stuff because you're sending Tyreek Hill all the way down the field every play.
They look good. They won.
They looked very good. I will say this.
He has nothing to say.
They're to fucking say. They look good. They won.
Their run game was
balanced.
shit.
They look good.
Their run game was shit. They can't run the ball.
They're balanced. They ran it enough.
But none of their running backs are that good. Chase Edmonds, 12 carries, 25 yards. Raheem Mostert, 5 for 16.
Well, guess what? The Patriots defense is a really tough defense to run on.
The Patriots got some problems. Are you willing to admit it to me yet?
They lost.
Well, okay, Belichick, I understand you're going to sit here and say that.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? They listen to me. I think the Dolphins' defense is a little better than expected.
You sat here 2 weeks ago and told me that the Patriots would challenge the Bills for this division.
I thought they would. I was wrong.
Okay. That's all I wanted to hear.
Who are you going to give?
That's all I want to hear.
That's
all right, keep going.
Okay.
No, not going to respond.
Moving on. Baltimore at the New York Jets.
Hey.
This This was, I don't even know what to make of this game. Besides,
Lamar's looking like a king. Is what I can say.
See, I knew you were
Actually,
gonna
I thought he looked bad. He was way off in that first half. They had trouble moving the ball. They had trouble doing everything. The running game's not there.
I think you're smoking some heavy peyote over there.
Really?
Aaron
Really?
Rodgers.
Outside one stretch play to Bateman. I mean, did he really look good to
Bateman
you?
had one 55-yard pass. His other pass was a 4-yard reception.
Thank you. How many catches did Mark Andrews have?
5 for 52.
Yep.
I'll say this.
Yep.
Out of this game, I took one thing. Oh, wow. Fuck. I
what happens
stubbed
when
the
you
shit out
flail
of
your
my
legs.
toe. I took one thing from this game. Joe Flacco's still a pretty decent fucking quarterback.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I think the Jets defense is very good. They played fucking hard.
Jets defense plays hard. Flacco's stat line. 37 for 59, 307 yards, and a touchdown.
Not bad for a guy who really hasn't played in the last 2 years.
Michael Carter ran the ball well. Breece Hall did not, and they didn't really give him that many opportunities. Corey Davis was the leading receiver with 6 receptions for 77 yards. Now, I fucking hate Corey Davis because you want to know what he's going to do? He's going to entice me to pick him up on my fucking fantasy team, and then he'll go 2 for 15 for the rest of the fucking year. Besides that, Garrett Wilson looked pretty good. I'll say that. Elijah Moore, they have weapons.
They have a lot of weapons.
They have weapons.
Braxton Berrios.
Berrios played well. I mean, they have weapons on that offense. And Flacco threw for a shitload of yardage. Their defense is okay. Their defense left me wanting more. Because at the end of the day, I agree with you that Lamar Jackson didn't play that well, and they still put up 24 points.
Correct.
Which is an issue.
With off Lamar Jackson, they put up 20.
Correct. And he threw for 3 touchdowns. That's
I
an
think
issue.
his thing was rust.
Who, Lamar?
He was not playing.
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
agree. Lamar's thing is rust. And with that being said, this is a testament to how good Baltimore could be because
They
put
a
up
pretty
24
good team
points.
on the road.
and they're missing their 2 best running backs again and are starting Kenyon fucking Drake. So they essentially had no run game yesterday. Drake went 11 for 31, averaging 2.8. Lamar went 6 for 17, which I was happy to see. I was happy to see him only run the ball 6 times. I was happy to see him not fight for the extra yard because I don't want him to get hurt. Yes, he was a precision
I
passer
didn't catch the
yesterday.
game, but I watched highlight reels, and it didn't look like he was running around being all Pat Mahomes cute.
And you want to know something else?
Nobody's cuter than Pat Mahomes.
Hey, that one he had.
Mark Andrews, Demarcus Robinson, Justice Hill. Their second receiver was Duvernay.
Duvernay, I don't think everybody in fantasy
slept
is
on
gonna
him.
pick this guy up this week.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe
Jack
just,
has him on his bench.
just maybe he'll fucking do something here.
Right.
Baltimore's defense. What did you think about that? I think they left me wanting a little more too.
Well, they went up against a pretty good team. I didn't realize the Jets. I didn't think they would be as far along as they are right now. But watch out for them. I really think they could do some damage here coming up. They have a very good young team.
Who looked better yesterday, the Jets or the Patriots?
Oh, obviously the Jets.
Okay, just check.
I thought the Jets looked better.
Just checking.
I mean, they only put 9 points up, but I just thought they looked better.
I know they just couldn't. They couldn't. Baltimore's red zone Ds.
They were like the Lions on key situations. They would make mistakes to kill themselves.
I agree.
The Lions did that too. Yeah,
I think once Flacco gets a little bit more oriented into that offense,
I think what's his name will be back by then.
Well, either way,
Yeah.
You know something. Flacco threw for 300 yards. If they win a couple of games, you might make an argument here.
Yeah.
Well, he's looking at this as his opportunity right here. He hasn't had an opportunity like this in what, 5 years?
I mean,
Well, can we talk about the next game I'd like to talk about is Chicago and 49ers.
okay.
In that fucking swamp storm that they had in Chicago over there. They had fucking squeegees out there trying to fucking get the water off the field over there. I've seen there was a shitstorm going on there. It was terrible.
This was
I will
That's
say
football,
this.
baby.
I will say this. Trey Lance is not the fucking answer.
well, hold the fuck on.
What?
Well, we lose to the Bears.
Who's worse, Trey Lance or Justin Fields?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, you all high on
that's a
Justin
pick 'em
Fields,
answer.
weren't
I was high on Justin
My
Fields.
God.
And I'll say this.
Justin Fields. Listen,
I mean,
At
he
least
did play
Justin
better
Fields.
than-
At least Justin Fields threw for 2 tuds.
That's
Trey
true.
Lance.
well, I'm going to say
That's
this
true.
about Justin Fields. It was a sprint out play, and he got a guy wide open downfield because they were rolling coverage toward the other side of the field where Mooney was, and they hit a big pass play, and that guy went to the fucking end zone.
Was Debo the only one who scored?
Debo was the only one who scored.
Yeah.
For the 49ers.
But
for the
but he was horrible. They lost their running back early, which killed them.
Correct.
Because that Wilson dude, he's not the answer, dude. He's not even
Jeff Wilson
solid.
is exactly what you'd think he is.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
a backup running back.
correct. Trey Lance ran 13 times for 54 yards, which, again, I don't even know. I really don't know what to make of this game, just like I didn't know what to make of the Bears. I can't believe they won the fucking game.
He's got
The range.
2 very good wide receivers. Okay? Very good wide receivers. And what did Debo Samuels have yesterday?
Receiving 2 for 14.
2 catches for 14 yards?
Yes, but he had 8 carries for 52
That's
yards rushing.
Okay.
That is sad.
After
All right,
Elijah
what did
Mitchell
Ayuk
went down.
have?
Ayuk 2 for 40 with one of them was a 30-yard.
Okay. That's your answer right
Jawan Jennings had the most target. Oh, no. Debo had 8 targets and 2 catches. Jawan Jennings had 6 targets, 4 catches, 62 yards. Jawan Jennings led the team in receiving.
there. That should tell you
So-
something right there.
Is it time to bring Garoppolo in? Or-
No, they won't do it. Like I said
No,
last
because
week.
they have already cemented their bullshit right now. Should they have made the
You
change?
see another game like this?
What?
I have a hot take.
Okay.
Sound it. By week 3, Jimmy Garoppolo will be a Dallas Cowboy.
Oh.
Why do you think that?
Because I think for Jerry Jones, surrounded by 50 microphones last night, to sit there and say that Dak
Oh, that he
Prescott
wanted to kill himself?
is going to miss a substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
I can't see Jerry Jones just riding off into the night with fucking Cooper Rush. I don't see it happening. And you're going to sit here and say, oh, Cooper Rush is actually a pretty good quarterback. Nobody says that. Nobody talks about that. And I agree with you, but he's not going to get him into the playoffs.
Is Cooper Rush an established quarterback? No.
No.
He's a backup.
I think they're going to
career
trade for
backup.
Jimmy Garoppolo. I do. Because the 49ers now, especially after that loss and that performance and everything else, if they go out again next week and lay a fucking egg, everybody's going to be calling for Trey Lance's head week 2 because you have Jimmy Garoppolo back there. If you get rid of Jimmy
And
Garoppolo,
the worst part of it is Shanahan has fucking opened up this can of shit over there.
correct, in
No
his
matter
ego,
what,
that's
they
it.
will. The city will implode.
they will
No matter what.
they will not play Garoppolo. They just won't do it.
No, they
There's
won't do
too
it because
much
they've
pride.
already
Well, think
said
about it.
that Lance is the guy.
If you get rid of him, right, and then Trey Lance continues to be shit, then the city's still going to be for their heads.
The best
Because
case
you got rid
scenario
of
right now for
Garoppolo.
San Francisco is Trey Lance get hurt next week. Best case
Yeah.
scenario for them
That is
is that he gets hurt and Garoppolo has to come in and maybe they'll win a few ball games and try to stay in pace with the Rams. That's all they're going to try to do.
You want to know what I thought was fucked up? The NFC West.
Used to be the
All
strength.
3 of those teams lost. Or no.
Their
Yeah, all
division
3
was
teams
a tough
lost.
division at one time.
Correct. And then there's another team another division where every team lost as well. We're going to have to look that up because I can't remember. But as far as the 49ers Bears game go, I mean, you got to give some credit to the Bears. They looked
They
like
stuck with it. I thought they were going to get smoked. And
they
stuck
looked
with
fucking horrible
Yeah.
through the first half, and they persevered and they fought through, and they got a dub against a good 49ers team. But yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo.
What a game
Dallas
yesterday in Washington yesterday with the Commanders and Jacksonville. That was a good game.
Yeah. So
I like that.
You calling them the Commanders? That's crazy.
I don't want to call them the Commanders. I want to call them the Redskins because that's what they should be.
I've got to say this. I'm a big critic of Carson Wentz, especially on this podcast. I talk a lot of shit. I don't think he's that great. But yesterday, he went 27 for 41, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, and had a quarterback rating of
Their defense
101.
defense was very good yesterday.
Good.
Their secondary is very good. I was shocked.
Probably the best I've seen him play.
Anybody who doubted Antonio Gibson, 14 carries for 58 yards, average 4.1 yards per carry, receiving 7 receptions for 72 yards. I mean, that's a Deebo Samuel-esque stat line there. So
that's a Cordell Patterson stat line there.
Yeah. I mean, he looked very good. McLaurin only got a couple of targets but played well. Curtis Samuel with a little resurgence here. 8 receptions, 55 yards, and a tud.
Jahan Dotson, he spread the ball around. Jahan Dotson had a nice touchdown.
3 for 40 with 2 tuds for the rookie, Jahan Dotson. Yes, Wentz looked very, very good yesterday. And I know everybody's going to...
He was under duress, man. He had to fucking move around, and he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, Jacksonville's secondary is not that good.
No.
It's fucking atrocious.
They're bad.
Yeah, Jacksonville's front of their defense is beautiful.
The front 7 is really nice.
Very nice.
That secondary, ooh.
It's not.
Shout out
not
to
good.
Devin Lloyd. He played an exceptional game yesterday.
Yes.
As a rookie.
Yep.
They got so many rookies on that team, him and Trayvon Walker, and they were making plays.
Trayvon Walker got a sack in his first game. Yeah, they
got an interception too, I believe.
Oh, your boy Chad Muma got a tackle.
Yep.
Ah, there you go. But their secondary was terrible. Carson Wentz picked them the fuck apart. Yeah. And I'll give Wentz credit. It was a nice game. But Antonio Gibson was the biggest surprise for me. The other biggest surprise from this game was Travis Etienne only getting 4 carries. James Robinson got a bulk of the workload with 11.
I'll say this about Etienne. He got welcomed to the NFL quite a few times yesterday.
He took some hits, man.
He took some big hits.
Yeah.
And I believe that's why they went with Robinson toward the stretch of that game at the end.
I agree.
Because I think that they seen that they didn't want to ruin this kid's confidence either. You know?
No, you don't.
He dropped 2 touchdowns.
I mean, he had a nice run for 27 yards. It was he broke off one nice one. I mean, he had 4 carries.
Down play. He had a touchdown, easy touchdown. He dropped
it. And there was another play earlier in the game where Trevor Lawrence went to go. He had another. Etienne was wide open. He had his guy beat by 10 yards, and Trevor Lawrence overthrew it out of the back of the fucking end zone. So it was kind of a rough game for him, but I don't think that's what we're going to see from him all year. Other than that, I mean, they found a way to put up 50 points in this game. It was just, I don't know. It was still kind of boring, even with that.
I thought it was okay.
It was an okay game at best.
You talk about an exciting game that was just all over the place. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. What a game that was. Wow.
I mean,
all I can say is wow.
If Joe Burrow didn't throw 4 interceptions.
I can't believe Joe Burrow brought them back. They were getting blown out.
I mean,
and I can't
for
believe
338 yards, but 4 interceptions.
I can't believe it.
This game was a
They should have won that game twice.
This game was a tale of 2 halves because Cincinnati did not play well in the first half at all. Burrow looked out of sync. Burrow did not look good, mostly because, again, some fucking how, even with a completely revamped offensive line, Burrow was under duress and got sacked 7
Well, TJ Watt was an absolute monster, and
which
hopefully he will not be out long.
R.I.P. TJ Watt.
I hope he's not out for too long.
Torn pec.
It is torn for sure.
Torn pec. MRI has confirmed, so he will miss the remainder.
And if you've seen that play, he was grabbing Burrow. When he went down, his hand slipped off, and you could see immediately on that left pec that he had snapped it.
Yeah, if you would have had an
because he was just like, ugh, and he got up.
Rubber band. Whoosh.
Well, so yeah, that's it for them.
Bad.
But I'll
he
say
had a
that
monster game.
He had a beautiful game. Hold on, let's get down there.
He had a monster
TJ
game.
Watt, 6 tackles, a sack, 3 tackles for loss,
interception.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. Pittsburgh's defense looked fucking good. They were quick. They hit hard. They played the game very well. I mean, also Minkah Fitzpatrick.
That Highsmith dude had 3 sacks, dude. He was real nice yesterday.
Minkah Fitzpatrick had a great game.
I don't think
all
anybody
over
had
the
a better
fucking
game
field.
than him.
Shit, 10 tackles.
It was. They played very, very, very well. Their offense is okay at best. And Mike Tomlin came out this morning and said Trubisky's their starter for the year, barring injury.
Wow.
So
Well, you kind of figured that. I mean, he played pretty well yesterday.
yeah,
He wasn't crazy exceptional, but he played well.
if their defense keeps playing the way that it did yesterday, which
Yeah.
without TJ Watt is going to be kind of difficult.
That will be the tale is can they get somebody in there to keep that pressure up?
Trubisky will be good enough to
I can
get
tell you
them.
this, Bruce. We talked about defenses, okay, and secondaries and all that stuff. Pittsburgh's secondary isn't really good, but that front seven is real good.
Okay.
And you put the pressure on, you win ball games in this fucking league.
As far as the back,
How many times was he sacked
Mitch
yesterday?
Trubisky.
How many times was Joe Burrow sacked yesterday? 3, 4, 5.
7.
Scroll up. 7 times. With a new offensive line, this guy got sacked 7
Joe
times.
Burrow was sacked 7 times with a completely
But Joe
revamped
Burrow
offensive line.
can
Yes.
run the football. I seen him run a couple of times
4
yesterday.
interceptions.
6 for 47, actually.
Huh?
Hold on. That's how you know elite quarterback from not elite quarterback. Because Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions.
4 picks.
Sacked how many times?
7
Yeah.
times.
7 times.
And a fumble.
And threw for how many yards?
2 fumbles, 1 loss.
And still should have won the game.
And still should
They
have
should've won the game.
But Trubisky had one tud and threw for only 194 yards.
And they won.
And they won.
Yeah.
But that's because their defense.
Right. Well, this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. If
But
you
is Mitch
listen to me,
Trubisky
if the
still
front end of
answer
your
for
defense,
them?
because look at
Like, come on.
you look at Fitzpatrick's
Yes.
stat line. Guess whose stat line was as good as his yesterday till he got kicked out of the fucking game?
Tracy Walker.
Tracy
Hey,
And it
Walker.
Tracy
was.
Walker had a great game until
Okay.
stupid ass.
All
fumble.
I'm saying is this. But they don't
He
have the front
slapped the
seven.
shit out of somebody.
That's not why he got kicked out.
Yes, it
it
was.
is. That's exactly
No,
why he
they
got kicked
called
out.
it for the targeting.
No, it was not.
No.
The targeting was a
kicked out
15-yard
for
penalty.
fighting
The
after.
slap was the ejection.
Dude, first of all, he slapped him because he came at him. Okay.
Can't
Now
slap
you're
somebody.
telling me these guys can't just go back a little for it. They gotta let these dudes just come on. Aaron Donald took off 2 dudes' helmets and was swinging them around like he was a helicopter.
Practice.
It doesn't matter.
Practice.
But okay, you slap someone with a fucking helmet on, and here we go, kick him out of the game. We're a bunch of pussies now. That's what
It's
we
something
are.
that Myles Garrett got suspended for an entire fucking year because of that, but Aaron Donald didn't.
Well, wrong
But
place, wrong time.
But can we
Yeah.
go on? That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's all I'm
You
saying.
slap someone in the helmet.
All I'm
no, you
saying
get
is
kicked out
this:
of the game.
where the fuck is Roger
ridiculous.
Goodell's head? He's the
ridiculous.
be all, say all of the NFL.
You guys and your
Bullshit.
fucking...
No, these
The
rules. are-
refs weren't bad yesterday. Go
sucked.
ahead and fucking
Yeah, they
crucify me.
sucked.
No,
Come
they
on.
weren't. Your butt hurt because fucking Tracy Walker got thrown out for slapping somebody like a fucking asshole. And I don't know
Oh,
what
wow.
your butt hurt about,
I just don't like the officiating
but why?
because I don't, man.
What do you want him to
I
do?
was watching
The officiating
a game
is actually bad.
where the quarterback was running, and I want to say it was Kyler Murray, maybe, was running, and he slid late, which he's a runner.
Hold on.
When you're out of the pocket and you're running forward, usually when guys are going to slide, they slide before the contact's coming. This guy waited till the last second and then went feet first. The guy barely touched him, and they called a fucking personal foul.
Okay, there was not a barely touch.
I
Kyler Murray
don't-
almost got decleated on that fucking play.
That's-
The head snapped back. He got his fucking ass popped. Okay, and at the end of the day, you know the call's gonna come. So
Yeah.
as a defensive guy, I know even if he slides late, you do something because you know you're gonna get that call.
You can't. When you're
Yes,
in
you
mid-
can.
when you're in
I-
mid-
That's
when
bullshit.
you're in missile mode and you're tackling, there's no way these guys can avoid that.
That yes, you don't go. He fucking he popped the shit out of him.
He
Dude,
deserved
it's
it.
it's hard.
He deserved
And
it.
I'm going to
It's
tell you this
hard.
much.
And then he deserves the
Quarterbacks, when they get
penalty.
out of the pocket, are fucking runners. They should. You're running back.
Yeah, if you're trying to go for that tackle, it is hard to stop momentum.
Yes,
like that.
I
absolutely.
get it,
Very
but
hard
when
to
you
stop
don't
momentum.
lighten
I'm
up, they're
tired
gonna
of
throw
it.
the
I'm
flag.
tired of the bullshit roughing calls. The roughing calls are fucking garbage, dude. They're garbage.
You're out of the pocket.
Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Did anybody watch the San Diego game yesterday?
Yes.
Did anybody watch the end of that game where Khalil Mack sacked fucking Derek Carr?
Yes.
That should have been a penalty. They let it go.
They should have. They should have thrown
Face
a flag on
mask.
that. Absolutely.
He grabbed him by the face
They
mask.
missed
It
that.
should have been a penalty. First down for fucking the Raiders.
They missed that. I agree. They missed that one. But
How the fuck do you miss that? Come on.
I don't know.
Come on. It's bullshit. The officiating is garbage. Garbage. Trash.
The rules are garbage. The rules are. Today's
The rules are bullshit.
Are bullshit.
But the officiating is not fucking backing it up.
Oh, real quick. I want to jump back to the Dallas game. Did anybody see how fucking cool Zeke's helmet is?
I love that helmet.
I fucking.
It looked like a pilot.
Yeah, it has no top bar.
Yeah. It looked like
It
a pilot.
it looks so cool.
State of the art.
And well, yeah, it's so I did a little bit of research on that. It has like 100 sensors or something in it, so they know where the impacts are happening, and like know for further treatment after the game and shit. It's like the latest and greatest thing that came out. It was, I mean, and it looked so fucking good. He looked like a fucking Power Ranger.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That was cool
I
shit.
got to admit
couldn't-
that.
the only game
that helmet was awesome.
Look at that. This was on national TV. How could you not watch it? It was on fucking NBC or whatever.
Well, I wasn't home till late, and I was watching.
Well, this was fucking last night.
It was at 8:30.
Dude, I went on this fucking stupid ass NFL Plus app.
Why didn't you turn on the
All the
fucking
games.
TV and go to channel 7?
I didn't know that it was on the TV like that.
Anyways, moving back to the Raiders
one of the-
Chargers game.
One of the
That was a
Michigan
very
running
good
backs
game.
Has a helmet that's just like this.
Is he wearing it now? But it has that. It doesn't have that top
yeah, it
bar.
doesn't have the top bar.
That looks so fucking
It's,
cool,
it's like
dude.
retro. It's like a new retro.
Looks like a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, it's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
That is fucking sweet. And they said it's 10 times safer than the old.
They should wear
speed
them then.
helmets. Yeah.
They used to wear
So,
leather helmets and beat.
That was a great game with the Chargers. The Chargers, I think, solidified themselves, and then they went up against a really good team, and they dominated them.
Vegas played great late though. They played.
I thought they
great
did.
late
I
in
thought
that
they
game.
played really
They
good
put up
late.
16 points in the second half to make it a game. And
Right.
Devontae fucking Adams
Was a
is
beast.
so good at football. I mean, 10 receptions,
And
141
I
yards in
truly
a ton.
thought that Renfro would be the beneficiary of that. Darren Waller, dude, what happened with this guy, dude?
He went 4 for
You don't gotta tell
79.
I get that,
I
but he
know.
dropped a touchdown.
If
He
Renfro
dropped
on my
a
team.
fucking touchdown in the end zone. I just
Renfro
don't
looked outmatched and outsized yesterday. He looked like a little
well,
kid.
the Chargers secondary is that good. That's why
They popped the shit out of him.
they're that good.
Fucking A. Brandon Bolden, name we haven't heard in a while, had a nice tud yesterday. And I watched that play, and it was pretty. That was cool to see.
They
he only
brought
had
him
2
in for a
receptions,
reason, obviously.
but- yeah, that was designed for him, I think.
know.
Derek Carr,
Don't even. Ugh.
2 tuds, 3 picks, 295 yards. Again, that the Chargers secondary is fucking phenom status. Like
They're very good.
They are very, very good. I mean,
And I'll tell you this much: they've lost a couple of guys in preseason here, but their offensive line held up pretty damn well. I was impressed against a very good pass rush.
okay, Derwin James just can play every position on defense.
Yeah.
He gets good pressure on a run, or he defends well against the run. He gets pressure on the quarterback. If he's in coverage, he does well. And when he's going to tackle, he will hit the absolute shit out of you. Khalil Mack, beautiful game, 3 sacks. That's what they paid the man for. He came in and did his job. Outside of that, Asante Samuel Jr. looked fantastic in coverage.
It's something from last year to this year, how much he's grown.
He has grown
I mean,
up quite
wow.
a bit. And Kyle Van Noy had himself a nice little 3-tackle game. Like their defense is going to be scary going
The
forward.
ghost of Kyle Van.
The
I agree.
ghost of Kyle Van Noy. Yeah, they had a very, very nice game. And that's not even talking about the fact that Keenan Allen, 4 receptions, 66 yards, went down around the half.
That's disappointing to see.
So he's getting an MRI today on his hamstring. Hopefully it's nothing that's going to keep him out long term. Now, Vegas turns around and plays on Thursday night this week. So most likely Keenan Allen won't. I can't imagine he's going to play. But
Vegas.
Well, Mike Williams was
Vegas.
Oh, excuse me,
MIA
the Chargers play on Thursday night. Mike Williams was MIA, 2 for 10. Yeah. I mean, he didn't do anything. Gerald Everett had a better game. Eckler had a quiet day. I was not happy about that.
Gerald Everett had a really good game.
Gerald Everett had a great game. Eckler, 14 carries for 36 yards.
But that's Eckler. He doesn't need it. I mean, he also had, 36 yards receiving?
Yeah.
40 yards receiving?
50 yards.
That's fine.
No, that's not fine.
It's not fun.
That's not fucking fine. Austin Eckler's the heartbeat of this offense. If it's going to be like that,
Yeah.
they're going to get outplayed in that division.
I think what they did here is they did what they had to do to win that game yesterday.
I agree. But
Yeah, because if you looked at it, Vegas stacked the line. They were going to stuff the run no matter what. No matter what. That's what that defense was doing.
Vegas's defense. I know you were a big fan of them.
I am.
Jonathan Abram led the team with 12 total tackles.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Absolute beast out of the safety position. Max Crosby played very, very well.
Chandler Jones played well, too. I thought they both did.
Chandler Jones was average at best. Max Crosby's the guy.
Yeah.
I got news for you.
Chandler Jones is a very good football player.
Chandler Jones wasn't around enough to be relevant. You know what Chandler Jones, you want to know where he's lacking now compared to Max Crosby? Chandler Jones is old now and doesn't get to the balls as quick. That's where Chandler Jones' game is lacking now, I think.
If you looked yesterday, they were getting the ball out quick.
They were. And Herbert has
They
to.
didn't touch him.
Herbert has
was
to
not
get
even
the
touched.
ball out quick.
He was not even touched.
Derek Carr has to get the ball out quicker.
Right.
Because
But you got to understand something now. They replaced 3 offensive linemen from last year. The center is a rookie. One of their tackles is a rookie. They had to replace the one that they released. What was his name? The big dude. They released him. Leatherwood.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So they've got some new components on that offensive line, and you've seen that yesterday because they were struggling big time with the inside guys and Joey Bosa and Mac.
Derek Carr had 3 picks, 5 sacks, and 2 fumbles.
Yep.
Which is
Not good.
that's an offensive line issue.
But you know what? They were still in that game at the end.
yep.
And
I mean, Devontae
Chargers
Adams
won
did
them.
everything he could to get him back into it.
Yeah.
You know, Devontae Adams played exceptionally well. Overall, the Chargers are the better team. The Chargers are the better defense. The Chargers are the more well-rounded offense.
yes.
But I think if you give the Raiders a little bit more time, in a couple weeks, they're
We'll
going to
see
be
what happens. Yeah,
pretty
I'm sure
goddamn
they're going to
close.
turn around. Listen, these games where these teams got blown out, like Green Bay and Minnesota.
There we go.
Minnesota-
You led me right
Minnesota
into it.
Dominated them yesterday.
Green Bay, I was almost... I couldn't decide who looked worse, Green Bay or New England. And I think Green Bay
Bay.
might have looked worse.
I think Green Bay looked bad because it just looked, they look unprepared.
Christian Watson had a fucking 70-yard touchdown wide open, 20
They
yards
dropped it.
away from anybody else, and it fell right through his hands. And you could tell Aaron Rodgers was just
He was purple.
fucking deflated by the time it was over because he just didn't have one fucking reliable target to go to. He just didn't. A.J. Dillon got double the carries that Aaron Jones did. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I was
that's
shocked on that. I
something
got
to
a
keep
feeling
an
they're
eye
going
on.
to turn away from Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones just isn't the physical monster that Dillon is.
No, and A.J. Dillon led the team in receiving too.
Everybody has to remember, too, they were missing both of their tackles. The Packers. They're missing both of their tackles.
Guess what?
And
I don't
they lost
give
the
a
guard
fuck.
yesterday, too.
Jesus H. Christ could come down and play offensive
Yeah.
line for them. They just ain't got
Yeah.
it. They
Well, I think that's a big factor of it.
I mean, their receiving core was Romeo Dubes, or what's his name?
Dobbs.
Robert Tanyan, the ghost of Robert Tanyan, Christian Watson. the ghost of Sammy Watkins, the ghost of Randall. It's
Or you
like
trying to
fucking
say they're
Scooby-Doo.
phantasmas?
Their entire fucking wide receiving core should be on Ghostbusters. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. Aaron Rodgers you're going to have to fucking keep an eye on this guy. 23 for 34, 195 yards, a pick, 4 sacks, quarterback rating of 67 for the 2-time defending MVP.
Yeah.
Horrible. Kirk Cousins, on the other
that's not
hand.
a way to win MVP when you start out like that. Well, Justin Jefferson was an absolute monster yesterday.
Let's start
My
there.
God.
Justin Jefferson, 9 receptions, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And I'll say this
He looks
about
like
this
Randy
guy.
Moss
Dude,
yesterday.
I'll say this about him. Out of all the games I watched yesterday, I did not see a receiver get the separation that this guy gets. He's 10 yards from anybody.
I know.
From anybody.
I know.
Is he just that good of a route runner?
I think so. Justin Jefferson was
I mean, he made Cooper Kupp look
He was
bad.
flying. He was cutting. He was everything. Everything you could ask a wide receiver to do, he did yesterday.
But every time I see this guy, you watch, you see the pressure coming, you see Cousins kind of drop back, he'll look one way, all of a sudden he throws a ball, and there's fucking this guy's 10 yards away from everybody. Some of the times I didn't even see the DB in the
I don't know.
fucking
He's
picture.
just that fast. He's just that athletic. He can burn.
White bread for Kirk Cousins.
I mean, Kirk Cousins fucking ate yesterday. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and he ate yesterday. 23 for 32, 277, 2 tuds, no picks, 1 sack, 118.9 quarterback rating. Can't ask for a better game.
better than that.
You physically can't. Dalvin Cook, 20 carries, 90 yards.
Solid.
Mattinson, 8 carries, 36 yards. Both average 4.5 yards per carry. Can't ask for anything better than that.
The defense was good. They were stout.
Thielen had a decent little game.
Not in fantasy.
Well, I mean, he did what he had to do to get by. 3 for
He did what he had to do.
36.
He did what he does.
Jordan Hicks, 14 fucking total tackles. You know, they're
Yeah.
God damn, they're going to win the division, and they look pretty good.
Yeah,
They did look good.
Their defense plays fast.
I'm afraid for week 3.
Yeah.
They play hard.
I tell you what, they looked a lot better this year than they did under Zimmer last
They
year.
look a lot better, dude.
They look like a
lot-
complete different team now.
Yeah.
Which is cool to see.
Green.
And that just tells you how bad Mike Zimmer is. That's too bad because I always liked Mike Zimmer, but obviously his time was up.
Hour 3.
Green Bay, there's nothing appealing about them. Nothing.
Nope. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Those were the games that stood out the most to me outside New York and Tennessee.
Oh my God, that game was
Fucking A.
great.
That was a
That was
fantastic
a great game. I'm gonna say this. I didn't give the fucking Giants a chance in hell to win that game.
No.
And my God, did they impress the shit out of me yesterday?
Saquon Barkley
Saquon.
came back
Yeah.
from the depths
The
of hell.
defense, their defense was outstanding yesterday.
18 for
Without
164 and a
Thibodeau, they're
tud.
without 2 of their top guys on defense.
Saquon Barkley had a better game than Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry
Yeah.
got his ass.
He got popped a few times.
That
Pretty good.
Crowder kid lit him up.
He got popped a few times pretty good. Sterling Shepard had a nice little game, as did Richie James.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a bunch of guys that you don't really know much about, but
Well, that's because
They
they're all
played
hurt.
well.
Nobody knows who's who anymore.
right. And for Tennessee, they just didn't look good. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't play well. Derrick Henry didn't play well. Dontrell Hilliard had 2 touchdown receptions.
Yeah, nobody was covering him out of the backfield.
No.
That was obviously busted coverage
And-
on two similar plays.
And Tannehill was, I mean, he was accurate, and he
Did his
20
job.
for 33, 266, 2 tuds, no
That's
picks,
not a
1
bad
sack.
stat line.
No.
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 And 106 quarterback rating. No. The stat line was good.
114. His quarterback rating was 114. Nice.
Whose?
Tannehill,
It was 106.4.
114.8.
It was 106.4.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's what it says over here.
NFL's wrong. 'Cause
Okay.
ESPN has him at 106.4. But anyways, I think here's the biggest thing about the Titans, and this is where their downfall is going to be. As we know, Harold Landry, who was probably their second best defensive player last year.
He's
out
their
for the
best
year.
defensive player.
Well, Kevin Byard is I would make an argument for, but I would.
No, their best defensive player is definitely their defensive tackle. He's just a monster. Jeffrey Simmons had a sack, 2 sacks, a forced fumble. He's the heart and soul of their defense. Jeffrey Simmons. He's been there quite a while. He's the heart and soul of their defense.
Scroll up to the top.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. For some reason, the stat line that he has and the stat line that I have are two completely different fucking stat lines.
It's all just
Okay.
NFL around the league.
Oh,
Anyways,
ESPN.
it was a good game right to the end.
Yeah,
The Giants went for it. Their coach, he
Titans
didn't fuck
defense.
around.
Titans defense needs help. Titans defense needs help.
I think their offense needs help too. They were a little one-dimensional yesterday.
Yeah,
You know,
they're just. You know what?
Derrick Henry didn't look.
They
like
looked
Derrick
like
Henry.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
They were just boring. They didn't have any sex appeal. They didn't do anything different. They were just there. The Cleveland Browns and Carolina Panthers, another fucking wild, down to the wire, weird, fucked up game.
All over the place.
Baker didn't play
Terrible.
but he didn't play good.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett didn't play terrible, but he didn't play good.
Well, Baker was also under duress. The Browns' defense is still
the Browns
pretty
defense,
damn good.
yeah, they let him have it pretty good. Christian McCaffrey did not play well. Nick Chubb
I
did.
actually thought Christian McCaffrey played pretty well. He played under control.
Yeah.
I thought he had a decent game. I really did. I thought he had a decent game. He didn't.
Not a
He
great,
did not look bad to me.
You're both fucking wrong. Christian McCaffrey went 10 for 33 and a touchdown. That is not Christian McCaffrey. You have invested in Christian McCaffrey. You have waited around for Christian McCaffrey to get healthy. You have designed an offense around Christian McCaffrey. When Christian McCaffrey goes out there 10 for 33, that ain't good enough. Period. Ever. If he is healthy, he's got to do better than that.
Listen to me. When the ghost of Robbie Anderson takes the top off of defense, that should tell you something.
When the ghost of who?
Robbie Anderson. The one who you don't fucking like, ever.
I don't.
The guy had 5 catches for 100 fucking yards and a touchdown.
So go ahead. Go drop your wide receivers and pick up Robbie Anderson and Corey Davis,
Just
the two
saying.
leaders from this weekend.
All I'm doing is telling
Okay,
you, dude.
Robbie Anderson did have a good game, 5 for 102 and a tud. Don't buy into it because next week he'll go for 2 for 7 and a fucking fumble.
DJ Moore had 40 yards receiving, and he's the guy there.
DJ Moore didn't play well. At the end of the day,
McCaffrey had 24 yards on the
Nick
catches.
Chubb was the highlight of this game, 22 for 141. And I'll tell you what,
Actually, I thought Kareem Hunt was with his 40 yards and two touchdowns.
that's fine. They can keep giving the ball to Kareem Hunt
Oh, I thought he had 2 touchdowns.
in the red zone.
No.
God bless.
Oh,
but
He had one receiving, too.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, to me,
He's a monster, dude.
Looked
22
like the-
carries, 141 yards, 6.5 yards per carry. It's fucking
to
dead.
me, he looked like the best running back in the league yesterday.
Yeah.
He fucking ran hard. He barreled through people. He made moves when he needed to.
I was just shocked that they would take him out at the end here and let Kareem Hunt get the touches at the goal line.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
I'm sure he
I would
really
too.
don't give a shit, but
Sure, he doesn't either.
Still.
And Nick Chubb, you know who he reminded me of yesterday was Le'Veon Bell. He took that
he's a patient runner.
one thing about Le'Veon Bell that stood out from anybody else that I've seen run the ball
His
is
patience.
patience.
Yeah.
And Nick Chubb looked at that yesterday. He just stopped, didn't really do anything, and then waited for that hole to open up. And it was, I thought that was the highlight of that game for me. Everybody picked Carolina to win this game. Every time
I think
Baker's revenge game.
Yeah.
And somehow the Browns were just good enough to get it done. And they didn't really need Jacoby Brissett to do all that much because Nick Chubb carried the team.
They
on his
really
back.
wanted
Right.
to shove it.
Yeah.
In big.
That defense, this is proof to you that a team doesn't really need an offensive juggernaut to win in this league. You need a good running game and a solid defense, and that's what they have.
What would you like to talk about next? Indy and Houston? Or...
That was a great game. You know
Okay.
what? I was a little upset about
need to
that
say
game,
anything.
to be honest with you. I thought the Texans, they were up so big, they should have won that game. I'm going to give Indy a lot of credit for sticking in there because they were getting blown out at one point.
Matt Ryan. I mean, he threw for 352 yards, but I don't understand how you're in a situation that was this
You got
against this bad of a team.
Listen, this guy threw 50 times, but they ran the ball 31 times with Jonathan Taylor.
They 38 rushes and 50 passes. I just don't understand.
That's incredible.
How this was a game. It just doesn't make sense.
Michael Pittman is a fucking monster, dude.
Hold on. Indianapolis only managed, with those stat lines, Jonathan Taylor had 161 yards, Matt Ryan threw for 352, and some fucking how through the first 3 quarters of the game, they managed 3 points.
They were getting blown out.
What?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
how?
It was all in the fourth quarter.
How did that happen? They scored 17 in the fourth. Like, against Houston. You couldn't manage to score a touchdown for 3 quarters against Houston? This is why I didn't like this Matt Ryan signing. You understand now?
I don't think you can blame Matt Ryan on this deal. I really don't.
No, because you kind of have to.
Even
You
Jonathan
kinda have
Taylor didn't have a big game until the second half.
I get it, but even if they didn't score in the third quarter,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
I think the Texans were a little better than what people expected. I think the defense played
stop.
a little better than people expected.
Stop. Go ahead. Blow Davis Mills next.
Oh, God. I didn't think Davis Mills played all that bad. He did turn the ball over. He got sacked, stripped, and fumbled, and they got a quick touchdown off of that. That helped the Colts big time.
I mean, Houston couldn't run the ball. Okay? Houston, 240 yards passing, and he got sacked 3 times. That's great. Receiving-wise, nobody had that great of a game. OJ
Burkhead had 14 attempts.
The ghost of OJ Howard, I guess, had a decent game. Brendan Cooks had a pretty decent game.
He wasn't being replaced by Gronkowski.
I mean,
he had 2 touchdowns.
I just can't for the life of me figure out how this was even a fucking game. Desmond King played well. I watched him play well. Desmond King was, to me, him and Stingley Jr. played very well for that secondary. Outside of that,
who is this dude?
I didn't
I've
really
never even
see
heard this dude's name
anything
before.
on their team that jumped off the page at me. I'm sorry. And Indianapolis did everything they could to lose that game.
Yeah.
And they got
I
lucky
was
that
shocked
Lovie
they,
Smith
they
went
got
for
it
the
to
tie.
the point where they got a tie.
Yeah.
They were getting blown out.
Yeah.
Because I was telling you that, if you remember, when you were going to the airport. I told you, man, they're getting blown out.
Yeah. That one was ugly but fun. I'll say
Fun
that
to watch.
much. It was
That
fun
was
to
a
watch.
fun game to watch.
For sure.
Yes.
Because Matt Ryan was a human stat reel. The Colts were a human stat reel. I
Yeah.
mean, goddamn, Michael Pittman, 9 for 121 in the TUD. Naheem Hines had 50 yards receiving. Ashton Doolin had 50 yards receiving. Paris Campbell, 40 yards. It was like fucking Oprah.
Yeah.
Everybody got fucking 50 receiving yards. And they still somehow couldn't put the Texans away. Couldn't even get on the fucking board for 3 quarters. Kansas City, Arizona. This game finished 44-21 and should have finished with a wider margin than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Pat Mahomes,
Kansas City took their foot off the gas there.
Pat Mahomes
That
is
21
phenomenal.
points is garbage time
Yeah.
points.
Pat Mahomes is phenomenal. That's all. That's what it is.
Kelsey was fucking real good yesterday. He was sharp.
Let's talk about Isaiah. What is it? Pacheco. There you go.
He was real nice
12
yesterday.
for 62 and a TUD. Can't argue with that.
How about Edwards-Helaire?
Edwards-Helaire had a nice game. Especially, I mean, he had
didn't have a lot of carries, but man, he
3
did the
receptions,
most of it.
32 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. You got to give it to him there. Mahomes didn't play all that cute.
No,
did-
he stuck within the game
That
plan.
one
Correct.
little-
As you
that
see-
little-
He still did his little fucking
His thing.
sidearm
it's-
bullshit. But
Listen, at
If
the
it-
goal,
if it
the
ain't
goal
broke, don't
line, that
fix
little
it.
shuffle pass at the goal line counts as a reception. So you know what? It's a pass. Dude, he was 30 of 39, 76, almost 77%.
yeah,
That-
quarterback
that's
rating was
crazy,
144.
dude. 360 and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was
crazy,
he had a
dude.
phenomenal game.
was
Nick
cute.
Bolton led the team in tackles with 10.
Who did?
Nick Bolton.
Of course.
Travis Kelce, 8 for 121. Juju, who dropped 2 very easy catches, 6 for 79. Fucking A. Valdez-Scantling, 4 for 44. Edwards-Helaire, 3 for 32. Sky Moore, 1 reception for 30 yards. I'd like to see them get him a little more involved. I mean, they played a perfect game. On the other hand, Arizona was beat, battered, and broken early. And I mean, Kyler Murray didn't play all that bad. They just are out. They were outmatched by a much better team. That's what it comes down to.
I really like Connor too. I love James Conner. I think he's a
James Conner got the ball 10 times and could not do anything with it.
Well, I mean, he did get a touchdown there. When they get down to the goal line, he's money.
And Eno Benjamin.
4 for 28.
Average 7 yards. For 4, though.
James, listen to me. James Conner is exactly what I thought he was. And I really wanted to have faith in him. I wanted to have hope in him. I thought he could be that great dual threat guy, like kind of a watered down Eckler. And yesterday he essentially was because Eckler played so bad. But James Conner just didn't look good with the ball in his hand. He just didn't.
Definitely a step down from last year.
And I'll give the Chiefs benefit of the doubt here. Their front seven looked fucking great for the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
they've
improved.
Mike Dana, he had a tackle.
Mike. I mean, they all got the Chiefs' front seven got very good penetration.
They all had a tackle.
Yeah,
Carlos Dunlap.
Everyone had a tackle.
The ghost of Carlos Dunlap comes back and
sack.
gets a sack in that game.
I mean, the Chiefs. Go ahead, take it. Flip your coin. Chiefs Bills to win the AFC. You really can't go wrong. But we can.
Yeah, pick your poison.
More into that later on.
Pick your poison.
And I'm trying to think. I think
the Cardinals were what we thought they were going to be. The defense is not good. I don't even know. I don't know what to say.
Real quick, is DeAndre Swift leading the league in rushing yards right now?
Does anyone care right now, dude? I was
just looking it up. Hold on.
No, somebody went for 189 yesterday.
Oh, really?
Anyway.
I thought.
All right, what's the next game we're going to talk about here?
That's it. We covered everybody. Yep.
That was all of them?
We didn't do the Saints.
Oh, we missed the Saints in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Go ahead. This was your game. This was your favorite game of the week. So have at it.
I thought that Atlanta looked good. Actually looked pretty good. I was real happy with how they came into this game. I thought underutilized a few guys. I think they should have thrown a little more to their tight end. But other than that,
I'll say this.
Defensively, they look good.
I'll say this.
It was a good game.
Atlanta, in typical Atlanta fashion, was up.
Spelled league wrong, dumbass.
God, in this game, Atlanta was up fucking 23-10 at the end of the third. Anybody remember 28-3? In typical Atlanta fashion, they fucking somehow shit the bed and let them come back. Marcus Mariota played a great first half. Cordero Patterson played a nice first half. Cordero Patterson had 120 fucking rushing yards. Mariota had 72 rushing yards. Drake London, 74 yards. They played fucking good football. Yep. Everybody that you needed to step up, stepped up. Mariota did. Patterson did. Fucking Kyle Pitts didn't do dick. Outside of that, everybody on that team that needed to step up, stepped up. And the defense shit the bed right at the end. Couldn't get it done. As far as the Saints go, fucking you can't. Jameis Winston had a decent little game. 270 yards and 2 tuds.
Did he get hurt?
No, he did not get hurt.
I thought he was hurt at the end of the game.
He tweaked something, but he said it's not.
He said he was okay?
Yeah. Taysom Hill had 157-yard run that blew everybody out of the water. Jarvis Landry had his comeback game, 7 for 114. And Michael Thomas, 5 for 57 and 2 tuds. Olave, 3 for 41. That for his first game. God bless him. Not a bad little day.
He also caught a 2-point conversion that gave them the lead too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll say this: if you're Atlanta, you got to win this fucking game. This is you when you are a team that is rebuilding and that has as many young guys and
Cordell Patterson had a really good game too.
Cordell Patterson, 22 for 120 and a tud. You can't ask for any more out of your guys than that. You gotta fucking seal the deal, man.
Right.
You got to seal the deal. You got to put that game away.
And going back, it's Saquon. I'm pretty sure that leads the league right now.
Oh,
The 165.
I knew somebody had a few more than Swift, but Swift had a very nice game. Anyways, that is our full Sunday recap. On Wednesday, we are going to give our fantasy advice for this week. Starts, sits.
Oh, we didn't talk about the line, though. Who on the line of the games? Remember I told you to.
We're an hour and a half in.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Come again.
We'll be back next week.
On Wednesday,
Am I perfect?
On Wednesday, we are going to do our fantasy episode. We'll give you guys fantasy start sits of the week, as well as a quick
We do it on
recap.
Fridays.
As well as a quick recap of last night's Monday night game with the Seahawks and Russell Wilson leading his Broncos in Broncos country.
And leading him into where?
Let's ride.
Where's that game at?
Lumen Field
at
in
Seattle,
Seattle,
or-
yes.
Oh, it's in Seattle. So we get to go to the hometown of the scumbag. I
Gonna
can't
be
wait
from the
can't wait to
den of
see it.
scum.
On the hot seat.
From the
That's
den
what I heard.
of
I want him
scum.
to get. I hope to get blown out tonight so he gets fired.
Hot.
We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We hope you enjoyed week 1 of NFL action, and we hope you enjoy our new studio. We'll be back Wednesday.
You like it?